Let's move on from the last video. My ultimate goal is to use tables stated here to look up from the columns in those tables. For example, item 7, I have to point to the bank table. That's why you see values besides the bank area in red here. Otherwise, it just returns reference. Let me talk about this formula. Control X, cut it first. Let's say if error, Control V, comma, Alt Enter. Otherwise, it returns a dash like this. Close the bracket, it looks better now. Here again, Control C, Control V. Here, let's say I only look up item 5. It should be inside the income table, which is the blue area. Item 5, then you see the item 5 values here. Alright, let's get back to the basics, which is our index match formula. Align it first here. Let me show you how to do it. When we look up for item 7, here, I need to directly select the item 7 inside the bank table, right? Then for the lookup, I use this reference. Where there's an @ sign, I use it to look up the values from the whole bank reference column. That's why when I scroll down from reference 15 to 21, I start getting values. Remember this format, okay? Let me show you how to do it in Excel 2016. Index. For item 9, I have to look up like this, bank and item 9. Let me replace the bank table. Simply backspace to remove it. Indirect. I usually wrap up with a bracket first. Indirect this cell that contains column 1. You see the @ sign up front, right? What it means is, let's say, when reference starts from 6, it starts lookup from the income table all the way up to 14. When starts from 15, this at column 1 will look up from bank. And item 9, right? To make the item 9 a string, oops, that's why. And my column item 9 and close it with a square bracket. Alt Enter. Now for the match part, use this reference. Remember the @ sign, comma. When at reference equals 1, it points to reference 1. When start scrolling from row 10, the @ reference now becomes 10. Alright, now match with the bank's reference column because we know item 9 is in the bank table. The match will be based on this reference, which varies when we scroll down the column. Reference 6 all the way to reference 15. So here I put in direct bracket column 1 and then remember this is a string reference like this. Since the reference column appears across all the tables, you see in income, expense, and also this table, right? Alright, comma. Match type is 0. Now go back and close the bracket. Oh, I see. It should be wrapped around like this. The bracket should also wrap around the column. Okay, done. We need to be really careful here, so let me recap. The indirect wrap around the column that will return expense, income, and bank when scrolling down. Now we are looking up the item 9 column from the bank table. That's why you see the item 9 wrapped around in a square bracket. That means the item 9 column from the bank table contains my target values. Here we use this reference from the master table. For each of the master reference, it points to the indirect part, which is the part that changes when scrolling downwards. When the reference starts from 15, it will start looking up from the bank to the bank reference column. And then match type is 0, like this. Let's say if I look up from item 10, Control C, Control V, paste it here, and I look up for item 1. Then I should look up from the expense table. Alright, remember, when we complete the formula, Ctrl X, cut everything after the equal sign, and then wrap around with the if error. Ctrl V, the formula we just cut, and comma. If it is not correct, Alt Enter, put a dash inside a double quote and close it. If error is done, and that's our result. Hope it helps. Ciao.